Champions Cup, the final games, the Sunday games. Mostly pretty close results. Once again, the comp is proving itself, apart from that first Leinster Wasps game, which seems to be a bit of an outlier. Most of these games seem to be pretty tight affairs. And when you look at the spread of the teams who are winning these games, it's all pretty even. So, I mean, Pro 14 teams have won 3, Premiership teams have won 3, Top 14 teams have won 3, and there's been a draw. So, yeah, it's definitely a fairly even spread, which makes for a good competition, which makes for a bit of entertainment because, yeah, you don't know who's going to win before the game starts, which is always nice. The first one, Gloucester have beaten Castres 19 points to 14. Only 2 tries in the game, so 1 for each side. Brayley for Gloucester and Leveau for Castres. Cipriani's boot, 4 penalties and a conversion against Demora's, 2 penalties and a drop goal. So, yeah, pretty tight game overall. I mean, when you look at this one, it was, again, a bit of tit for tat. Gloucester 3-0. Denied a try to Tom Marshall. He was everywhere in this game from what I've seen in the highlights. Castres brought it back to 3-all, 6-3, 6-all. So it was very much back and forward, back and forward. From what I could see in the highlights, because I've only seen the highlights, not broadcast in full here, it looked like Gloucester were kind of bossing the game. All the play seemed to be in the French 22. Cipriani looked sharp. As I said, Tom Marshall looked to be everywhere, getting high balls and making good runs, breaking tackles. So, yeah, he seemed to be having a good game, but not enough to kind of break through and get a bit further ahead. Still pretty tight by the finish of the game. The weather probably didn't help that. It did seem to be pretty wet, although, yeah, it was amusing seeing the guys kind of sliding on the ground whenever they would go onto it because it was just really waterlogged. But yeah, overall stats kind of reflect what I saw in the highlights. Gloucester 60% possession and territory. Tackling really well, 93%. Johan Ackermann will be very happy with that. Castres down to 82%. So normally that's all right, but from what I've seen so far in this competition, 82% tackling rate is actually not that good. Teams defensively seem to be a lot more structured. Interesting stat of this one, Gloucester had 27 tackle busts to Castres 4. So kind of reflects those tackle stats as well. Yeah, I mean, Castres really probably pretty happy to walk away with the bonus point when you look at all those figures. I suppose they would have liked to have snuck one at the end, but yeah, I think Gloucester winning that one seems like a fair result, and they'll probably want to close them out if they kind of get that kind of dominance going forward. Gloucester go on to play Munster away next, which will be tough, and Castres have got Exeter at home. The next one, Lyon have gone down to Cardiff Blues, 30 points to 21. Try to Gougeot and to Delors for Lyon, and for Cardiff, it was Robinson, Thomas Williams, and Gareth Anscombe. Yeah, this one seemed to be kind of full of action from what I saw. Again, just highlights. Another game that was back and forth. Cardiff actually came back from 10-0 down, which was kind of a credit to them for sticking with it. Thomas Williams seemed to have a really good read on the game, because some of his plays for the try that he assisted for Robinson and for his own try, he's just quick mind, and he's also got quick feet, so that helped him kind of find a bit of space that other number 9s may not have found. Anscombe also looked sharp. His try was just classy. He basically just ran straight through half the team, and yeah, the angle and his little kind of fake pass had everybody bamboozled. So he also had a good night with the boot, kicking pretty much at 100% from what I remember. He kicked 3 conversions, 3 penalties. Very good night for him. So it's going to be a bonus for Cardiff if he's kind of continuing that good form. In terms of the stats, Lyon actually had 60% of the possession and territory, but in the first half it was pretty even. First half it was 50-50, so it was the second half where it kind of went to Lyon with the ball. Penalties conceded 6 to 8, so 6 to Lyon, 8 to Cardiff. So kind of on the lower end of the way these games go. So that obviously made for a bit more free-flowing game. Like when I looked at the highlights of this game compared to that game, there seemed to be a fair bit more open running. Tackling percentages, again, a bit lower than what I've expected. 79 for Lyon and 83 for Cardiff. So, I mean, solid. I'm used to watching Super Rugby where 80 is considered pretty good. But as I said, I've seen a few teams in this comp so far topping 90. So, 83 is probably just considered okay. And 79, not the best day at the office. But, yeah, out of the blocks fast for Lyon, but not enough over 80 minutes. Cardiff really doing the job and taking those opportunities. I mean, all the tries they scored were really kind of top-class ones. Lyon have got Saracens away next week, so that's going to be tough. And Cardiff will host Glasgow, who will be wanting to hit back because they've gone down to Saracens. 13 points to 3. Pretty low-scoring game, just the one try to Rhodes for Saracens. Hastings kicked the penalty for Glasgow, and Farrell kicked a couple, plus a conversion for Saracens to get the job done. 13 points to 3, as I say. Pretty even game. Apparently there was a bit of controversy in this one with the ref. The highlights package I saw didn't really focus on the areas which were apparently controversial, so it's hard for me to kind of speak on those. But in terms of stats, 50-50 for pretty much everything. 50-50 position and territory, run meters, 327 to 370. That's Saracens with the higher number, but still not much in that. Tackling percentage, 88 to Glasgow, 84 to Saracens. Again, pretty tight. Penalty count, 9 to Glasgow, 12 to Saracens. So everything, not too much in it, but on the scoreboard, 10 points enough for Saracens to get an away win and to deny Glasgow a bonus point at home. Marco Vunipola went off in this one early, and apparently a couple of the Saracens guys got broken noses, so it did not come without a price, I guess, this victory. I think Glasgow will probably look back on a few missed chances. There was a fair bit of niggle, and perhaps some calls didn't go their way. And an early penalty miss, which was pretty much a sitter right out in front, ended up kind of at least costing a bonus point. So, yeah, probably not the best day at the office for Dave Rennie's boys, but seemed like a talented bunch. And there was enough in the highlights that it looked like they were almost there so many times, but just couldn't quite convert. So I would expect more from them. And the next game, they have got Cardiff at away and Saracens home to Lyon, as I said, with those previous reviews. Last one, Toulon and Newcastle have played out another one-pointer. 26 to Newcastle, 25 to Toulon. Toulon outscoring Newcastle in tries, but kicks being the difference. So Kyle Cooper, who is one of my favourite old Super Rugby players, playing up north now. He scored a try from about a metre out, and Newcastle got a penalty try, which was kind of crucial in the scheme of this game because it was right out on the sideline. It was a try for all money, but then there was a high shot on a guy going in the corner. Otherwise, he would have scored. Obviously, penalty try means automatic 7 points, so no conversion needed. When you look at that scoreline, that you never know, might have been the difference, but car's gone up my driveway. Yeah, it proved to be costly. For Toulon, they did come out of the blocks early as well. Scored within about 20 seconds, which wasn't a great introduction to the Champions Cup for Newcastle, but yeah, Taufenua, Lakafia, and Girardo all got tries. It's interesting, though, because there were 5 tries in this game, but there were almost as many yellow cards. There were 4 yellow cards in this game, 3 to Toulon and 1 to Newcastle. The penalty count was 10 to 12, so actually not that high, but the yellow card rate is very high. Like I said, 1 was for that penalty try, so yellow card and penalty try. Some was like offside, repeated infringements, that kind of thing, and Newcastle's 1 was for a deliberate knockdown. So another one that was tit for tat, like Toulon took the lead back in the 62nd minute to put it out to 25 to 23. Newcastle took it back with that Savia yellow card right towards the end in the 67th. So that was enough for Newcastle. Good introduction to the comp for them. If they can take some of this into their domestic form, that would probably be helpful. Also, Trenduk missed the penalty. Again, could have been the difference, but you never know how things would have played out if they had got him. But Yeah, Toulon have got Edinburgh away, not going to be easy, and Newcastle will host Montpellier, which will also be a tough one. But yeah, Toulon tackled at 90%, still conceded 26 points. Newcastle at 86, so still pretty high. Yeah, 4 yellow cards makes for a bit of a difficult one to win if you're spending 30 minutes with a man down. Although I should say Toulon from the highlights package actually seemed to be on attack a fair bit when they had a man in the bin. So maybe that was the driver they needed. Right, so that's the 4 games. Unfortunately, being a Sunday, kind of a Monday morning work day over here in New Zealand, wasn't able to see any of them in full. All highlights packages, so there's bound to be stuff I missed. As I said, that Saracens and Glasgow one seems to have had a bit of controversy about it, so if any of you guys saw that, you can probably let me know what exactly was going on, because yeah, it seemed to be like a fair bit of niggle in that game and not a lot of happy players. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the games, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.